react after Charlie gets shot. Let's watch how he reacts. Mikey is still there, phone in hand, still filming, still texting, still talking. Charlie is about to be... Mikey's still standing loyally by, right there. And then let's watch him walk away. So he goes behind it, and he comes out right here. He just walks away. There he is, walking away.
Wow.
So there he is, walking away. That's him. That's him walking away.
None of these things make any sense to me. Like, you're telling me that this kid who's not military trained, this guy, first of all, how did he get to the roof? How come nobody was looking? How come nobody was, like, there's a direct line of sight between where he's sitting and those roofs. You guys didn't check? You don't have a drone? Like, that's insane.
The footage you're about to hear about isn't just shocking. It's impossible to unsee. What if the man standing inches from Charlie Kirk moments before his collapse wasn't just filming history, but quietly directing it? Because that's exactly what people are asking after a newly uncovered clip hit the internet, showing Mike McCoy, Charlie's right-hand man, calmly walking away seconds after the chaos begins. No panic, no shock, just silence, phone still in hand, backpack strapped tight, like someone who already knew what was coming. For a man trained to protect. His reaction looked more like someone avoiding attention. And when the internet caught that moment, everything exploded, frame-by-frame breakdowns, digital detectives, and viral theories that maybe this wasn't as random as it seemed. Even Candace Owens has now stepped in, calling the footage too clean to be coincidence. Was it loyalty or betrayal? Coincidence or coordination? Why did Mike McCoy's father, Pastor Rob, rush to defend him before anyone even accused him? And what really happened in those missing 4 minutes of footage the public was never supposed to see? Because once you watch it closely, you'll realize somebody knew, and they made sure we'd never find out. When the clip first hit the internet, people thought it had to be fake. A man as media trained as Charlie Kirk, surrounded by cameras, security, and staff, taken down in broad daylight. Yet somehow, the only person who didn't seem shocked was his closest ally, Mike McCoy, the guy who built his whole reputation on being Charlie's loyal right hand. Looked more like someone quietly clocking out at the end of a shift. That was the first red flag. You can see him clearly in the footage. Black cap, backpack, phone up, never lowering it even as the crowd screams. Everyone else is reacting like a bomb went off, and Mike, he's frozen, still recording, then calmly steps back and walks away. No sprinting toward Charlie, no hand over his mouth, no visible panic, just a smooth exit. Like he was walking out a meeting he already knew would end badly. Social media caught fire instantly. That's not loyalty, that's choreography. One user posted. Within hours, digital detectives were analyzing every frame. Some slowed the video down to quarter speed and caught something chilling. Mike's phone light blinking seconds before the collapse. Was he receiving a call? Sending a signal? Or was it nothing at all? The internet doesn't believe in coincidence, and this looked too precise to ignore. As the clip spread, new angles surfaced. Footage from campus security cameras, crowd phones, and a shaky live stream from someone across the street. No matter the angle, Mike McCoy always appeared somewhere in the frame. Near Charlie, behind Charlie, next to the SUV, then gone. Almost like he was making sure every camera caught him doing nothing wrong. That's when the questions exploded. If Mike was on his phone before the chaos, who was he calling? Why did no one see him rush forward? And why was his reaction so measured, like a man who'd rehearsed attachment? Then came the bombshell. An independent journalist named Sam Parker released a breakdown claiming he'd mapped Mike's movements across the entire morning using timestamps. According to his analysis, Mike was never more than 10 feet from Charlie, until exactly 30 seconds before the collapse. 30 seconds. The kind of gap that looks tiny on paper, but can change everything in real life. Parker's report went viral overnight. You can literally watch him vanish from frame. He said, the guy's glued to Charlie's side all morning, then disappears right before it happens. What are the odds? People didn't need more convincing. Within 24 hours, hashtag where was Mike was trending. But things got stranger when Turning Point's official page went silent. No acknowledgement, no clarification, just silence. The longer they stayed quiet, the louder the rumors grew. Then finally, a familiar voice broke through the noise. Pastor Rob McCoy, Mike's father. Rob stepped up like a man on a mission, sermon voice ready, eyes wet with conviction. He told everyone to stop spreading lies, stop twisting the story, stop accusing his son of things they didn't understand. Mike was doing his job, he said during a live stream. He was documenting, he was serving, and he was devastated. But the internet wasn't buying it. Viewers flooded the comments with skepticism. If he was devastated, why didn't he look it? Someone dug up old photos, Charlie and Mike at conferences, laughing, eating breakfast, posing backstage with the Turning Point logo behind them. They looked like brothers, not co-workers. That only made the footage more unsettling. Because if that's what brotherhood looks like, what does betrayal look like? The deeper you dig, the murkier it gets. After Charlie was rushed to the hospital, reports surfaced that Mike had stayed behind at the venue, helping staff pack up equipment. That detail infuriated people online. Helping pack up while your mentor fights for his life. The optics were devastating. And then, boom, Candace Owens entered the chat. Owens, who had once been a friend and collaborator to Charlie, wasted zero time turning this into an investigation. Something's off, she said during her stream. I've seen hundreds of panic reactions and footage. This one isn't normal. Mike moves like someone who already knew the outcome. Her words sent the story nuclear. The clip was reposted on every platform, analyzed on podcasts, and debated in Telegram channels filled with self-proclaimed truth seekers. One theory claimed Mike's phone was connected to a private communication channel used by Turning Point staff for security coordination. Another suggested the footage had been tampered with, that frames were missing. Someone even compared the clip's shadows to calculate exact times of day, insisting the event timeline didn't add up. Meanwhile, Turning Point official investigators released a vague statement saying they were cooperating with authorities and urged the public to avoid conspiracy theories. But by that point, the conspiracy had already outgrown containment. Every second of silence from the organization was interpreted as guilt. Then came the discovery that blew everything open. A close-up frame from one of the crowd videos showing Mike's reflection in a car window. His expression? Calm, focused, not confusion, not panic. The caption under the viral post read, "The calm before the truth." It's easy to forget how fast an image can reshape the story. Overnight, Mike McCoy went from loyal staffer to prime suspect in the public eye, and the silence from his camp wasn't helping. No interviews, no statements, no apology videos, nothing. Just a pastor's emotional defense that somehow made things worse. By now, the internet wasn't asking if something strange happened. They were asking how deep it went. Candace Owens claimed her team contacted Mike directly, asking for his call logs from that day. No response. They asked again through Turning Point's PR office. Still nothing. And when independent reporters reached out to confirm whether Mike had even been questioned by police, no official record was found. It's like the world hit pause the second Charlie fell, and every answer froze mid-sentence. In one live stream, Sam Parker tried to connect the dots further. If Mike was calling someone at 12:23, who picked up? Was it another staffer? Was it a security contact? Or was it something else entirely? His voice cracked slightly before he added, "You can tell when a man's scared." But Mike, he looked ready. People began comparing it to classic cover-up stories, bodyguard conspiracies, political silencing, even stage footage theories. And the craziest part? Every new debunked video only made the mystery more viral. It's like trying to pour water on gasoline. By day 4, millions had watched the same 15-second clip on repeat. Every version had new arrows, circles, and voiceovers pointing to evidence. And yet, despite all that attention, no official footage beyond that clip ever surfaced. Cameras were offline. Drones malfunctioned. Data was under review. Convenient. Meanwhile, Pastor Rob kept doing interviews, quoting scripture, crying on camera, and talking about forgiveness. But every time he spoke, viewers noticed the same thing. He never actually answered the core question. Where was Mike, and why did he walk away? The tension became unbearable when Candace Owens posted a teaser for her upcoming segment titled, "The Video They Don't Want You to See." She promised exclusive access to unseen angles and a full reconstruction of the minutes leading up to the tragedy. The trailer alone got 2 million views in 12 hours. It showed blurred outlines of men walking through a campus tunnel, overlapping timestamps, and a haunting audio snippet of someone whispering, "He's down." The caption read, "The truth doesn't die, it hides." By now, the story wasn't just about what happened to Charlie Kirk. It was about how fast truth can get buried when power, loyalty, and media collide. And in the center of it all was one man, standing calmly with a phone in his hand, walking away while the world erupted behind him. But that's only half the story. Because when you find out what happened after that moment, who called who deleted what, and how fast the narrative changed, you'll start to realize this wasn't an accident. It was a message. And the real story was just starting to surface. What happened next turned the internet upside down, just hours after the footage went viral. Turning Point USA's team scrubbed their social media. Posts were deleted, comments turned off, and the official statement vanished after only 15 minutes. Screenshots flooded Twitter before the cleanup was even done. People started calling it the digital wipe. Because when an organization starts erasing things instead of answering questions, that's when the real story begins. One of the first people to speak out was a former Turning Point volunteer named Eli Grant. He claimed he'd been at the event in Utah that day and saw everything unfold from the parking lot. The way that guy walked away, it didn't sit right, he said during a late-night live stream. It looked like he was following a cue, not reacting to chaos. His video hit 1 million views overnight. Grant even said security staff were told not to talk to the press and to refer everything to internal comms. That's not how transparency works. That's how control works. By morning, Candace Owens dropped her full segment. The intro alone could have set the internet on fire. You're watching a clip that should not exist. You're watching someone's composure at the exact moment his friend is fighting for his life. She dissected the footage frame by frame, overlaying timestamps and zooming in on Mike's phone. At 12 hours, 23 minutes and 4 seconds, his hand goes to his ear. 12 hours, 23 minutes and 7 seconds, he nods slightly. 12 hours, 23 minutes and 9 seconds, Charlie collapses. Owens pauses and whispers, 3 seconds. That's all it took. The clip spread faster than wildfire. Hashtag exploded. Hashtag 3-second gap. Hashtag Mikey knew. Hashtag justice for Charlie. Within an hour, multiple political commentators jumped in, each pushing their own spin. Some said Mike was calling for help. Others claimed he was receiving orders. But the one question nobody could answer, who was on the other end of that call? And then came the leak. An anonymous Reddit account dropped a screenshot allegedly showing a text exchange between Mike and a Turning Point coordinator minutes before the incident. The message read, "Stage clear, keep filming, stay calm." Nobody could verify it, but the timing lined up almost perfectly. The image got reposted over 40,000 times before moderators deleted the thread. Meanwhile, Pastor Rob McCoy went live again. He looked exhausted, like a man torn between faith and fear. "Stop persecuting my son," he said, voice shaking. He loved Charlie like a brother. The internet is twisting truth into poison. But even as he spoke, commenters flooded his feed with fire emojis and accusations. Some noticed he was wearing the same watch Mike had been seen with days earlier. Theories turned biblical. Like father, like son. As all this spiraled, mainstream outlets finally broke their silence. A major network aired a balanced segment claiming early reports were inconclusive but noting digital irregularities in timestamp metadata. That single phrase, digital irregularities, was enough to reignite the entire frenzy. If timestamps didn't match, that meant edits. And if there were edits, that meant cover-up. Inside sources began whisper about a missing drive, a hard disk reportedly containing raw footage from all event cameras. It vanished from the Turning Point office 2 days after the tragedy. A staffer allegedly reported it stolen, but no police report was ever filed. Not one. That's when public trust collapsed completely. Candace Owens doubled down, accusing the organization of burying digital evidence. On her podcast, she said, "You don't lose a hard drive by accident. Not when that drive contains the last 30 minutes of Charlie Kirk's life." Her tone wasn't anger, it was conviction. Viewers could feel it. and that conviction spread. Soon, TikTok detectives began syncing crowd videos and reconstructing a full 360-degree timeline. Thousands of users became unpaid investigators. People noticed tiny details, reflections, light angles, shadows, and something else no one could explain, a faint audio echo in the background right before the shot. When enhanced, it sounded like a voice saying, "He's clear." Coincidence? Maybe, but this was the internet. Coincidence doesn't trend, conspiracy does. Then something truly bizarre happened. A second anonymous clip surfaced on Telegram, supposedly filmed from across the street. It showed a man who looked exactly like Mike standing near a black SUV minutes before the chaos. Phoned his ear again. Only this time, the timestamp was 15 minutes earlier than the official footage. If that clip was real, the timeline just collapsed completely. That's when people started saying what everyone had been thinking, but no one wanted to say out loud. Was Mike McCoy more than just a bystander? The Turning Point press team panicked. Their lawyer released a statement claiming severe defamation and threatening legal action against anyone spreading false narratives. But suing the internet is like yelling into a hurricane. It only makes it louder. Every attempt to suppress the footage brought more versions, more analysis, and more chaos. Meanwhile, the emotional core of the story deepened. Pastor Rob kept showing up on Christian talk shows, turning every interview into a sermon about forgiveness and truth. But the more he spoke about forgiveness, the guiltier he sounded. "We all fall short," he said in one appearance, voice cracking. "Even the righteous stumble." Viewers clipped that line out of context, spreading it with captions like "confession disguised as scripture." By day 6, Candace Owens dropped another revelation. She said she had received a private clip from the event's cameraman, the same one whose footage mysteriously disappeared. The video was short but disturbing. It showed the moment immediately after the incident, with Mike in the frame again, calmly pocketing his phone and walking behind the tent. The cameraman whispers, "He's not running. Why isn't he running?" The clip ends there. The reaction was nuclear. If Mike really stayed calm while everyone else panicked, then his father's defense no longer mattered. People started calling for a full independent investigation. Petitions appeared overnight. YouTubers made hour-long breakdowns comparing every frame. Memes, theories, deepfakes. Every corner of the internet turned the story into an obsession. And yet, amidst all the chaos, something felt deliberate. Like every leak, every silence, every perfectly timed reaction was being choreographed. Some believe Candace Owens herself was being fed select clips by insiders to stir pressure on Turning Point's leadership. Others thought Pastor Rob's emotional breakdowns were designed distractions to keep public sympathy alive while evidence got buried. Then, late that night, another twist dropped. A journalist named Travis Henley, who'd been following the case from the start, claimed he'd found surveillance footage showing Mike entering a restricted equipment room 10 minutes before the event began. The footage was grainy but clear enough to see his backpack. When Travis reached out for comment, Turning Point's legal team allegedly told him to stand down. He posted the email online. Within an hour, it was everywhere. People no longer cared who was guilty. They just wanted truth. And yet, every time the truth got close, it slipped away. Still, one detail refused to die. That phone call at 12:23 p.m. Who was on the line? Who told Mike to stay calm? Candace Owens claimed her team cross-referenced local tower data from that area. The call wasn't local, she said. It pinged from D.C. That one line broke the internet. D.C.? That meant political. That meant big. In one of her most chilling segments, Candace whispered, "This wasn't random. This was orchestrated." And maybe she was right, because the moment that broadcast ended, Turning Point's legal team announced they were hiring private investigators to review all footage and protect the integrity of Charlie's legacy. But they didn't release a single frame. Not one. The silence felt deafening. It was as if everyone who knew the truth had been told to disappear. And through it all, one man remained invisible, Mike McCoy. No interviews, no sightings, no posts, just gone. Some claimed he'd fled the country. Others believed he was still within the organization, rebranded, hidden under a new title. Theories kept piling up, each crazier than the last. But one thing was clear. Whatever happened in those 3 seconds between Mike's phone and Charlie's fall changed everything. And yet, as the dust settled, one final piece of footage emerged. Grainy, shaky, but real. It showed Mike walking down a quiet corridor that same evening, phone still in hand. Calm as ever. Behind him, a voice whispered, "It's done." The video cut to black, and the world stopped again. By the time the world saw that final clip, the grainy hallway footage ending with the whisper, "It's done," the narrative had already left the realm of politics and entered pure legend. People weren't just talking about Charlie Kirk's collapse anymore. They were dissecting what it symbolized. Trust, betrayal, loyalty, silence. Everything boiled down to one haunting image. Mike McCoy walking away while the world fell apart behind him. Within days, thousands of conspiracy threads exploded online. Some claimed the whisper was artificially inserted. Others swore it was genuine, pointing out matching background noises from a Utah venue. A few even said they heard a second voice, faint but audible, saying, "Clear the line." The story turned into a labyrinth of echo chambers, and every time one door closed, 5 new ones opened. Turning Point USA tried one last time to take back control. They released a brief 2-paragraph statement. "We mourn our dear friend and leader Charlie Kirk. Any attempt to politicize this tragedy dishonors his memory." But it was too late. Screenshots, archives, and timestamps had already turned the internet into a courtroom, and the jury was global. When Candace Owens aired her follow-up episode titled "The Call That Shouldn't Exist," she looked visibly shaken. She replayed that same 3-second clip in slow motion, over and over and over. "That isn't shock," she said, pointing at Mike's face. "That's anticipation." She revealed that her team had uncovered metadata showing that the phone connected to a number saved under CC Ops, initials nobody could identify. Then she dropped her voice to a whisper and said, "But we did trace one thing. That number belonged to a government-issued device." That was it. The fuse hit the powder. Within an hour, Twitter Spaces, YouTube panels, and Reddit live streams were flooded with people shouting over each other. Government ties, media censorship, deep state fingerprints. Everyone had a theory, and everyone believed theirs was the truth. But amid the digital chaos, one thing quietly resurfaced: Pastor Rob's silence. For days, he had been defending his son, preaching forgiveness, holding interviews. Then suddenly, nothing. No church live streams. No social media. He vanished just like Mike. Then an unverified email leak appeared on a whistleblower site, allegedly from Pastor Rob, the Turning Point staff. The subject line read, "You asked me to keep quiet. I did. Now what?" The body was just one sentence long. "My son is not the only one who knows." It was enough to reignite everything. People wanted answers, and the silence was now louder than any statement could be. Meanwhile, anonymous insiders began claiming there were 2 versions of the footage, one for internal review and another for public release. The internal copy reportedly included an additional 27 seconds of audio that had never been heard. Those who claimed to have seen it described it as career-ending. Nobody could prove the clip existed. But that didn't matter anymore. The myth had already replaced the truth. Candace Owens posted cryptically on X, "If the full footage ever drops, careers will burn. Pray they do the right thing." Theories turned cinematic. Threads claimed Mike was part of a covert crisis management team planted within Turning Point. Others suggested the call he made wasn't a phone call at all, but a live stream upload. A few insisted the whole thing was staged to distract from a bigger scandal inside the organization. Each claim fed the next. But beneath all the noise, one story stood out. A quiet interview with an unnamed cameraman who claimed to have worked that day. He said something chilling. "When they told us to shut everything down, the first person who stopped filming wasn't me. It was Mike." The interviewer pressed him. How could he tell? "Because he looked right at me," the cameraman said, and he mouthed the words, "It's over." That single sentence went viral across every platform. It's over. 2 words that flipped everything upside down again. Meanwhile, Turning Point's official investigators released their final report weeks later, a document so vague it only deepened suspicion. It concluded there was no foul play and that Mr. McCoy's conduct was consistent with trauma response. But buried deep in the report was one overlooked line. Due to data corruption, portions of the footage remain unrecoverable. The internet seized on that like a shark to blood. Data corruption? In 2025? Not a chance. By then, Mike McCoy was practically a ghost. No sightings, no posts, no statements. But a user on a private forum claimed to have spotted him in an airport lounge in Dallas, wearing a baseball cap and noise-canceling headphones. When approached, he reportedly said just 3 words before walking away. You saw nothing. The mystery had officially crossed into pop culture territory. Late-night shows joked about it. Independent filmmakers announced documentaries, and TikTok creators reenacted the walk-away moment in parody videos. But under the humor, the tension never really died, because everyone knew this wasn't just about one man walking away. It was about how truth itself had become performance. Weeks later, Candace Owens released her final statement on the matter. "I'm done asking," she said, eyes locked on the camera. "If they want to hide it, they can. But remember this, every lie leaves a fingerprint, and this story, it's covered in them." The video ended with her signature smirk and the line, "Some of us don't need the footage. We were there." And that's when something eerie happened. An anonymous account dropped a 3-second clip, never before seen, showing Charlie's reflection on a glass door moments before the fall. Behind him, a shadow moving in the opposite direction. The username of the account? @McCoynon. Nobody could confirm if it was real, but within hours, the account disappeared. Gone. Wiped clean. That was the final spark. Every outlet, from mainstream media to fringe blogs, demanded a reopening of the investigation. But the official response was the same: no further comment. And that's when people realized they were never going to get closure. Some say Mike McCoy was just a loyal aide caught in chaos. Others swear he was a missing key in a much bigger plan. But either way, the silence around him became the story itself. Because in a world addicted to transparency, the most dangerous thing you can do is say nothing. And maybe that's what scares people most. Not the footage, not the theories, but the eerie calm of a man who never defended himself. Because when you watch that clip again, frame by frame, it doesn't feel like confusion. It feels like finality. Like a man completing a task. Like an ending that was always meant to happen. The camera shakes. The crowd screams. The phone light flickers once, twice, then fades. Charlie Kirk disappears from the frame, and Mike McCoy walks away, phone in hand, eyes steady, never looking back. Was it guilt, duty, or something far more calculated? Nobody knows. Maybe nobody ever will. But one thing's certain, when silence replaces truth, even loyalty starts to sound like betrayal. And for every mystery they bury, the internet digs 10 more graves. Because stories like this don't die, they multiply. So now, after all the deleted files, silent pastors, and missing drives, one question still burns through the smoke. What are they hiding and why? Because every time someone gets close to the truth, another wall goes up. Every answer leads to 5 new questions, and every silence sounds more like strategy than shock. The footage didn't just expose a man walking away. It exposed a machine that moves fast when it's scared, slow when it's guilty, and completely still when it's cornered. The world saw what happened that day. We saw Mike's calm, the crowd's chaos, the phone that never left his hand. But what we didn't see was what happened after. Who took that footage? Who cut the cameras? Who decided what the world could and couldn't see? That's not an accident. That's control. And control like that only exists when there's something to lose. Maybe it's reputation. Maybe it's power. Maybe it's something much darker. But one thing's for sure, this story isn't finished. It's still breathing through whispers, through leaks, through the people who refuse to forget. So don't just scroll past this one. Keep watching. Keep digging. Because the moment they make you stop asking questions is the moment they win.